Welcome to City Life. I'm Beverly Thompson. Many of us think of the community pool as a place to go to keep cool during the summer. Nowadays, there are many more ways to enjoy water for recreational use. Joining me to talk about how Durham is planning to improve our aquatic facilities now and in the future, and how you can help, are Jason Jones and Lisa Estrich. Jason is an assistant director with Durham Parks and Recreation, and Lisa works with Ratio, a design firm helping the city to get your input in this process. Welcome to our show, Jason and Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jason, get us started. Tell us why Durham Parks and Recreation is focusing on pools and playgrounds, spray grounds, and why a master plan is needed.
Yeah, so in 2015, we did a pool assessment to figure out the quality of the pool facilities and spray ground facilities that we have within the city of Durham. And through that, we found that we had a lot of functional obsolescence with a lot of our pools. Pool ages are, we have one pool that's as old as 90 years.
Wow.
And the average age for a pool is 40 to 60 years. So the city council wanted a proactive approach. So we were able to bring on Ratio and Councilman Hunsaker to help us out in taking a proactive approach and determining what the community wants for its pools and spray grounds for the next 5, 10, and 15 years.
So the master plan will cover both the existing pools or existing facility as well as any future facilities as well. So what kind of existing facilities do we have now?
So we have 2 indoor pools that are year-round pools at Campus Hills and Edison Johnson. We have 3 seasonal outdoor pools at Forest Hills, Hillside, and Long Meadow. And then we have 4 spray grounds that operate seasonally as well.
Now, are they meeting the needs of our residents right now?
Well, we inherited a lot of the pools, so we're trying to figure out whether they're meeting the needs. We could have larger numbers at each of our facilities, but that's why we're proactively asking the community what they would like to see with aquatic facilities in the city of Durham.
Now, Lisa, your firm has been hired by the city to help do an assessment, and I understand that Ratio has worked on aquatic centers throughout the United States, in Indiana, Illinois specifically. And when you're developing a master plan, what is your role, and what kind of input do you get from the public to help do that?
Well, yes, and just to start out, we're teamed with Councilman Hunsaker, and they are a national firm who specializes in aquatic facility design. They've worked on master plans for over 200 facilities nationwide. So for this project, I'll be the project director. So that deals with overseeing the day-to-day functioning, not only overseeing the design team, but also coordinating with city staff. So the master planning process will first identify the issues and then work towards creating goals for the project. And then the design team will work collaboratively using community input to be able to develop solutions that will best resolve those issues. And at Ratio, we feel that community engagement is really a critical part of any kind of a design and planning process. You know, we know that every community is unique in its needs, in its demographics, in its culture. You know, we know that Durham is a special place and needs to be treated as such. So public input really helps to create a plan that has been developed by hearing a lot of different voices, helps to build consensus so that you're able to generate the support needed for successful implementation.
So Jason, I know you recently did 2 workshops, and the public pretty much told you what they'd like to see in their aquatic facilities. What did they tell you, and were there any surprises?
Well, we did have 2 open houses. We had about 150 people attend those, and I don't think we were surprised by the results. We had a great turnout from people that are interested in competitive pools. So we have strong input for a 50-meter competition pool, but we expected that. We expected the swim teams and the swim enthusiasts. They're easily mobilized. So we're trying to find different ways to get input from the public, including going out to a variety of events that are going on throughout the community. We're also doing an online survey that's available at our website, durhamsplash.com.
Durhamsplash.com.
Durham Splash, yes.
I like that.
Yeah. We're also reaching out through the PACs to get input from PAC members, and we've created kind of a feedback loop with PAC liaisons to get input on a monthly basis while this plan's going on.
Okay. So Lisa, in looking at what other communities provide in their aquatic facilities, are there any national trends that you're seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, the 6 different facilities currently existing in Durham, we would consider to be neighborhood pools. So they really serve smaller pockets of the community. And the national trend now is really to create larger family aquatic centers that provide a diverse range of experiences. Because pools are no longer a rectangular body of water in the ground, they need to serve a broader range. So we're seeing features such as children's play structures and zero-depth entry pools for small children, water slides and lazy rivers, competitive training venues, even therapy programs and water aerobics, I mean, and on. They really need to suit the needs of a wide variety of people, from the small tots to the baby boomers. And we know that the city is looking for a master plan that not only suits the current needs of the community, but also can serve the future forecast for future programs, for facilities, and for trends, so that this can really stand the test of time.
And Jason, in the past, has the public talked to you already about where they'd like to see these kinds of features?
Yeah, as we've gone through the open house process, and as the more we speak with the public, the more the public's willing to say we want it in our neighborhood. And even before we were doing the plan, we often had folks reach out to us and identify, hey, we would like a pool here or a spray ground there. And when we're not going through any of these processes, it's hard for us to respond. So this is a really good opportunity for people to say, this is where we want it. Fortunately, we have Ratio and Councilman Hunsaker on board that are able to help us out with where our pools are geographically laid out within the city. They're able to compare that to where people are willing to drive, where the population lives, and try to find places that pools will fit geographically within the city.
So Lisa, during these types of community-wide processes, I know you get a lot of information from city staff and from elected leaders. How do you go about taking all of these thoughts and opinions and meshing them together with other research to help create a plan that's going to fit what the community wants?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And it's one of the reasons that we develop a core group right at the beginning of the process. People that are identified early on who act as a representative body to be a sounding board throughout the process. And they're there to hear the different ideas that are brought by the design team and by the community, and make sure that they are the best reflection of the needs and the desires of the community. When we're done with this process, we want to be sure that we have a master plan that's a reflection of what we've heard.
I see. Okay. Jason, I know providing pools is not inexpensive, i.e. it is expensive. And there's been a lot of talk about the need for an aquatic center in Durham. And it's expensive, and spray grounds as well as pools and other features that you're talking about can cost a lot of money. So how do you educate our residents to keep their perspective on the wants versus the needs and what we can afford?
Sure, that's a really good question, because at this point, where we're at in this process, we're not talking about money. It's truly an objective question to ask the community, what do you want? Once we hear what the community wants, then one of the tasks that we've asked Councilman and Ratio to help us out with is give us some cost estimates of the facilities that the community has asked for and that they've identified that they want. They've also, part of the plan that we'll ultimately have when these are suggested, are going to be operations plans and discussions of revenue and how we can offset some of the cost associated with the facilities. Right now, like I said, we're asking the community what they want. Then we'll get into the scoping and the cost associated with building those facilities.
And I know that whole process can take a long time. So Lisa, what kind of timeline are we talking about here? And when will the master plan eventually be complete?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're right at the beginning of the process. We're still collecting data. We are still analyzing the needs for the city of Durham. Next, we're going to be developing our toolbox of options of aquatics facilities and bringing those back to a public public workshop on October 6th to get the public's input on it. After we get that input, we'll then work on finalizing a couple of plan options and reveal those to the public right around New Year's. Then we'll be working on a final master plan report, which will really document the entire process we've gone through, show the results of the public engagement, show the final plan options and probable costs, and also our recommendations for implementation. And all of that should be done by the beginning of March.
Beginning of March next year, okay. And I know Lisa mentioned an online survey. How long would that actually be available?
Online survey is going to go through the middle of October.
Mid-October, okay, all right. And then you'll take all of that information and put it together and do a report to council, pretty much, right. So is there anything else that the public needs to know about this whole process, about how they can get involved even, or get their information to you?
Well, what I would say is please get involved. You know, we want to hear from as many people as possible. You know, this is truly a reflection of your community, so we really need to hear from your citizens. So we encourage everyone to take the online survey, to come to some of our public events. You know, their input is so valuable throughout the entire process. We really want this to be a true collaboration with the Durham community.
Great. And our department has a great infrastructure throughout the community, and we ask people to get involved. Check out our website. Go to the website specifically for the Aquatic Facilities Master Plan, durhamsplash.com, because that's where we're updating or providing all of the best and latest updates in regards to the plan. It's where people can find surveys. If we need to put out any additional surveys down the road, that's where they'll be. We'll have some meeting minutes up there of discussions that have occurred as this process has gone on. So that's the best place to find information, and they can certainly ask at any of the recreation centers within their neighborhoods.
Sounds good. All right, thank you both for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Maybe we'll make a big splash in Durham with this new aquatics facility. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
We hope to.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
That does it for City Life. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and watch us on Durham Television Network and on YouTube. I'm Beverly Thompson. Thank you for joining me to learn more about City Life in Durham.